Let's talk of narcissistic abuse. It's a type of emotional abuse which is carried by a person who is a narcissist. Narcissists have this need for admiration. They're selfish, self-centered individuals who lack empathy, who are obsessed with themselves at the expense of their relationships with others. The warning signs include physical and emotional abuse, such as controlling behavior. Abusers try to control their victims. They'll restrict, for instance, what you wear, who you spend your time with, how you spend your money, what kind of food that you eat, even what kind of movie you watch, and so on. So, a warning sign with narcissistic abuse is a controlling behavior. Then there's the gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse and manipulation that causes you to question your reality. When a narcissist gaslights you, they might deny things you know to be true. They'll twist facts, or they'll use your own words against you to make you question your understanding of the situation. And their experts are doing that. The other warning sign of narcissistic abuse is social isolation. Narcissists who abuse you, they'll often isolate you, their victims. They'll pull you away from your other important relationships in your life to make you, the victim, more dependent on them, on the narcissist, the abuser. Narcissists love the social isolation to control and manipulate you. Then they will also invade your privacy. They will want to know where you are. They will want to know, to track your whereabouts. They'll check you out on your social media platforms, your Facebook, WhatsApp status, and Instagram, and so on. They'll want to violate this sense of privacy that you have. This gives the narcissist some sense of control, and they get away to intimidate you. Then the narcissist will verbally abuse you. They'll name call you, they'll belittle you, they will yell at you, they'll give you the silent treatment. In short, they will practice all forms of verbal abuse on you. Then the narcissist, they will practice lack of boundaries. They'll never respect your boundaries. Anybody who inserts themselves into your life very quickly may eventually become very controlling or very abusive. So watch out. And narcissists are very good at doing that. Then the other way is through threats. The narcissist who abuses you might threaten you or the people and things you love. They'll even threaten your pets. Sometimes the narcissist abuser will threaten to self-harm just to control you. So there'll be censorship from the narcissist who abuses you. They'll want to control what you say or even what you think. Imagine that. They'll threaten or punish you for speaking out. Then they will also practice withholding. Withholding is a manipulative behavior in which a person withdraws their attention, their affection, or communication as a way of punishing you and making you feel ostracized. So being abusive and having a mental health illness, all right, just like the way narcissists go through, are separate things. So let's look at this narcissistic abuse cycle. What is this narcissistic abuse cycle? Number one is the idealization. At the beginning of the relationship with a narcissist, you will think that your partner is an ideal partner. They will be very seductive, personable. They will infatuate you. And you'll feel you've gotten your ideal partner. Then after that, there is a devaluation. After the idealization stage is the devaluation stage. At this stage, the warning signs and the abusive behavior begins to show. It starts slowly with controlling or jealous behavior, like getting mad when you see friends. And this can escalate to gaslighting or to verbal abuse and possible violence. Then there will be rejection. The narcissist abuser may eventually reject their partner. So this happens when the victim of the narcissist asks for compromise or understanding, and the narcissist is not willing to provide it. They may decide to reject their victim. Now, what are the effects of narcissistic abuse on the victim or on the abused? Being a victim of emotional abuse or narcissistic abuse can have some short-term and long-term effects on somebody's health. So people who have experienced manipulation and abuse, they feel confused and they may blame themselves for their partner's behavior. Even after a relationship ends, when you are a victim of emotional abuse, it can make it very difficult to trust partners in future relationships. So what are the common effects of emotional abuse? There is the shame, the anxiety, the guilt, the feeling powerless, confusion, loss of self-esteem, being overly compliant, taking the blame for others' behavior, staying in an unhealthy relationship. So how do you get help? No one should be abused. Even if your partner has been diagnosed with narcissism, it is not an excuse for abusive behavior. All right. So you can reach out to a professional counselor who can help you cope with an unhealthy relationship. A counselor will also help you to set healthy boundaries and understand what behavior is unacceptable. So remember, emotional abuse is still abuse and should not be tolerated. What is love bombing? Love bombing involves bombarding a person, that is a romantic partner, with a lot of attention and affection. Showering your romantic partner with so much attention, affection. These excessive compliments and gifts are showered and bombarded on your partner, and that is what love bombing is all about. Love bombing is a highly manipulative tactic which is used by narcissists to obtain power and control at the beginning of a relationship. So when you mention love bombing, what comes to your mind is a narcissist, because love bombing is closely associated with narcissism. Now, when we ask ourselves what is love bombing, what comes to your mind is the excitement and displays of affection which are normal at the beginning of a relationship. But when you mention love bombing, it is more than that. Love bombing behaviors are excessive. At first, the love bomber showers their partner with gifts, praise, and other gestures that appear flattering on the surface. These tactics are very manipulative. They are meant to groom their partners, to isolate them from friends and family, and to secure themselves as the most important person in their partner's life, ultimately making their partner emotionally and socially dependent upon them. So, love bombing in a relationship takes a certain approach. When that relationship continues, the person becomes manipulative in other ways, such as they become distancing and cold, and coldness. Ultimately, this leads to emotional abuse, such as gaslighting. And when you talk about gaslighting, we mean a manipulation tactic that causes a person to doubt their own reality. When a narcissist engages in love bombing, their goal is receiving praise and admiration. The intention of the narcissist when they love bomb you is not to show genuine affection, but to control, get some personal gain. In short, love bombing is a way for a narcissistic abuser to build their partner up before tearing them down. Narcissists or abusers often use love bombing to get or to gain their partner's trust and adoration, to get them to open up, to learn their partner's weaknesses, and ultimately to use that against them. We know that narcissists can be very charming, they can be very likable, exciting, all right? And the manipulation can happen slowly, and their control may go unnoticed at first. And this charm usually goes away after the initial stage of the relationship, which will be replaced by belittling and emotional abuse. So it is important to recognize love bombing not as a sign of affection, but as the first step in creating a toxic and controlling relationship. So, how do you know that you are being love bombed? If you think you're being love bombed, there are some signs you need to watch out for. Your love bomber will shower you with gifts. Gift giving is not strange when it comes to relationships, but love bombing with gifts tends to be excessive. It comes with expectations or both. Lavishing or giving you many gifts giving gifts to you by the narcissist or the love bomber, or expensive trips, vacations, jewelry, designer handbags, especially when this is done very early in the relationship, is a clear sign that you're being love bombed. It's a warning sign. And when the narcissist or love bomber showers you with all these gifts, and what they expect from you is a lot of praise, validation, compliance, something in return, then watch out. Now, sometimes they do this, sometimes they will even pay for your rent, bills, or other expenses, give you some financial support. All right, this is too much. This is a clear sign of love bombing. Another sign of love bombing is when your love bomber or narcissist doesn't stop giving compliments. We all love compliments. They are nice, but when you make grand statements, when you're still getting to know the person, that is problematic. Phrases like, my life will be nothing without you. And when a love bomber declares they love you early in relationships, then these are red flags. Because if that person is saying things that feel uncomfortable very early in the relationship, before you know each other well enough for them to feel valid, then that's a red flag. The narcissist love bomber will not stop giving compliments. Another warning sign that you're being love bombed is that they tell you what you want to hear. They want you on their side. They want to convince you that you are their perfect match, and that they are your perfect match. So they will try to agree with everything you say, and they'll tell you what you want to hear. Even if what they say doesn't match their true feelings or thoughts, they'll still tell you. So they will keep showing you affection. They'll call you the other half, their better half, their soulmate, just a few weeks into the relationship. Now, they will also want your undivided attention. They'll feel entitled or possessive of your time. They expect you to respond to texts or calls immediately. They expect you to prioritize spending time with them to the detriment of your time and relationships with friends and family, or time to yourself. They get irritated, angry, or stonewall you when you want to spend time with others. The love bomber will try to distance you from your friends and family or isolate you from others. They'll request you to end your friendships. So when a love bomber tries to or expects to have control over your time and with whom you spend it with, that's a big warning sign in a relationship. So the other sign that you're being love bombed is that they will call and text you frequently. Being frequently in touch with your partner is natural in a new relationship, but feeling overwhelmed by communication, it is not natural. It is not healthy. So if your narcissistic partner or love bomber is constantly calling, texting, or contacting you on social media, making you uncomfortable, then it is time to discuss your comfort levels and boundaries with that partner. And if they continue to contact you more than you feel it's okay with, if you're not comfortable, then that's a clear red flag or warning sign that you're being love bombed. The other warning sign is that they get upset when you put up boundaries. So if your partner does not respect these boundaries that you put or gets angry when you enforce them, then that is possession and emotional manipulation.